Hello and welcome everybody. This is Roland Hartmann from graphicinmotion.com, and in this tutorial I will show you how to customize my Floral wedding slideshow After Effects template. This tutorial has two parts. In the first part I will show you how to do a basic customization, how you can edit your titles, how you can add some footage, and how you can apply different colors. In the second part I will go a bit more in depth of this template, and I will show you how you can add additional scenes, and I will also show you how you can change the order of scenes. But before we do that, let's take a quick look at the content of this template. So after you downloaded the zip file from Envato Market and you unzipped it, you will find this content. You see that actually we have 4 different After Effects projects included, and the names already tell you that we have 2 different resolutions. So we have a Full HD resolution and 4K Ultra HD resolution. And we have 2 different versions. There is a short version and there is a long version for each of these resolutions. The short version is exactly the version that you see in the preview video. It is about 1 minute and 30 seconds long, and it has 22 placeholders for your videos and photos. The long version is more or less double of that, so it is approximately 3 minutes long, and it has 43 placeholders. Now you can also find a links folder in here, and this is also important. If you want to use the same fonts that I used for this template, then you can download them right here. Here you see we have the Kepler font that is actually included in Adobe fonts. So if you have Adobe Creative Cloud, which you probably have, because otherwise you would not be able to use After Effects, then you can download this. And Poppy Shower is available for free on the font. So I would recommend that you follow these links, download the fonts, install them on your system, and then proceed with the customization. There's another link in here that leads you to Audio Jungle, to the music that I used for the preview video, but of course you can use any song that you want. So now let's go to After Effects and let's open up one of these projects. In After Effects, I just go to Open Project, and then I will just choose this short version, Ultra HD here, for the sake of this tutorial, and open it up. Please be aware that this template is compatible with all the After Effects CC versions, but it is not compatible with all the versions like After Effects CS6 and so on. So by default, you see that the render composition is already open. This is the composition where all the scenes are organized, and this is also the composition that you will export in the end when you want to render and produce your video. Now let's start to customize this project. First of all, I want to show you the color control that's right on top of our render composition. And in the Effect Controls panel, if this is not already open in your layout, by the way, you can go to Windows and activate it right here, Effect Controls. And you see we have some color controls in here. So the first one is called Change to Color. So what does this mean? Let me show you this. If you want to change the overall look of this template, you can do this by just changing the color of this controller. So maybe you want to have something like orange, warmer look, then you can just change the color here. We can intensify the saturation here a little bit maybe, and click OK. And now if you scroll through your timeline, you see that the whole look, or all these scenes, updated, and all the elements now have this nice warm look. So it's really simple to change the overall look of this slideshow. So the next control that you have is the title control. So let's move our time indicator to a scene where we can see titles. And let's make this obvious. I will just change this to this bluish color here, as you can see, or to a very harsh pink. And you see all the titles in the whole project automatically update their color. So you don't have to come in here and change the color of all of these text layers. You can do this with only one color control. So let's undo these color changes for a moment to be back at the standard layout. The next option is here, the color change intensity. And this is quite interesting. If you set this to 0, you see that the colors change. Now we have this greenish, bluish layout. And if we change now this change to color, it doesn't do anything. And this is because now you turned off the change to color. And these are actually the original colors. I painted all these elements really with watercolors on paper. Then I scanned them in, worked on this in Photoshop, imported it to After Effects, and animated it. And if you turn off the color change, then you get the original colors that I originally used to paint these on paper. So if you like this coloring, then you just turn off this color intensity and you get the original colors. Now, there's another option that you have here, and this is the gold-silver checkbox. If you check this on, you will see that all the gold elements that are inside this slideshow are turning into silver elements. So this is also quite interesting and can create quite nice looks. So if you take a look here, also the splatters here, everything that is gold will turn into silver. So if I undo this now I have the gold back again here. If I check it, it is silver. So you can also create a nice silver layout. Now let's take a look how we can change titles and how we can add footages to our scenes. So to enter the scenes, you can just select them in the timeline and double click. You can also come here to the scene folder, and here you will find all the scenes that are used in this slideshow. In scene number 3, you see we have some titles and we have a placeholder right here. So let's start by customizing the titles. Some of the titles are just standard text layers, like this title here. It's just a text layer, so you can just come in here, double click, and enter your title. So it's easy as that. Now we change the title. Of course, you can now come in here, change the font, change the size, change whatever you want to change on the text layer. In this case, you see that I added these guidelines, and these are just approximate guidelines that should help you to create a nice layout. There is this little marker saying edit title at this marker. It's not that important, but you can do it. Place your time indicator at this marker, because then these guidelines are really lined up nicely with our floral elements, and then you can use this to just position your titles maybe a little bit better. It's not included in all of the scenes, but in some of them where I thought that it makes sense, I included these guidelines. If you don't want them, you can also go to View and you can just show guides or just turn this off. Now, you see that in some scenes I used these nicely animated capital letters. You see that they are building up nicely, they have a nice animation in there, and you can of course use these to create your own titles. So let's say we want to put in a name here, or let's just say we use the word name. I want to change this capital now. So this is not a font. I cannot just come in here and type something in, because this is a pre-made design element and we have to exchange it. Let me show you what I mean. Select this layer here in the composition, in the scene, and go to Design Elements. In this folder you can find all the design elements that are included in this slideshow, that build up this slideshow. And let me mention this here, a few months ago I released a design pack where all of these elements are included and that you can use to build your own designs. So if you are interested in all these floral elements and all these frames and everything you see throughout the slideshow, and all these watercolor background elements also, you can purchase this as a design pack. If you do not want to have this slideshow, but only the elements, then you can purchase the design pack. The design pack is a little bit cheaper because the slideshow is of course a whole project, and it also contains all of the elements of the design pack. So here you get the slideshow and the design pack, but you can also get the design pack separately. Okay, so now to exchange the letters, you can go to this letters composition and open it up, or this folder I should say. And you see here we have the whole alphabet, and we also have this end sign that you can use in your designs. Now I want to put in letter or the word name, so I will choose my letter N, and the DE here stands for design element, just in case if you are wondering what this is here. So again, let's select the R, let's select the N, drag it down, hold your left mouse clicked, and then drag it over the layer, hold down the Alt key on your keyboard and just release the mouse. This way you can exchange elements in After Effects. And now you see I have the N, and it takes over the position, it takes over the scale, and now I will change the text here. So I will select the second text layer here, double click on it and put in my name. Oops, this was wrong. So like so, now I have the name in here. To position the title, I can now just select the letter, because these are actually linked, these two layers, and if you select the letter, then you can change the position of both, or of the whole title. like so. You can also come in here and change the position of these words or of these letters separately if you want to change the distance between the letter and the capital letter and the small letters. And you see now the layout looks way better. Good, so this is how you can customize titles. Now let's enter some footage to this placeholder. You can use videos and you can use photos in this slideshow. To add some footage, we just open up the scene footage 1 placeholder. Double click on this. You can access all the footage placeholders right here in the footage placeholders folder. Here you can find all of these and they are named always after the scene they are used in. Now we are in scene 3 and we are using footage placeholder 1, so you can find this here as well. Now let's import an image. So I will go to File, Import, and import an image, and I will use just this nice stock photo that I got from unsplash.com. Let's drag it out here so that we don't have it inside any folder. Let's actually close this down. To add a footage, there is one important thing. You see that in this scene footage compositions, we always have this set matte layer and this matte frame layer. Do not change these two layers. So do not turn them off or on or delete them. You always need these two layers inside the footage placeholders. You can delete the placeholders or turn them off. These ones, these two, the red layers are not important, but the gray ones, don't touch them. And to add your image, you have to drag the image below the set matte layer, because then you have this nice framing here. If you don't do it, if you drag it on top, this will not work. So this is really important that you drag it below the set matte layer. Now you can just scale it. Maybe we turn off the alpha channel here to see it a little bit better. You can scale it and position your image to get a nice framing here. And then we go back to our scene and you see now our bride is already in here. And that looks pretty cool. So this is how you can add footage to your scenes. And this works exactly the same for all the scenes. You see there are some scenes that do not contain footage placeholders. In this case, you just have to or can edit the titles. And then there are scenes with multiple footage placeholders. Like here we have 2. Or let's take a look at the scene where we have really a lot of placeholders. It's this one, that's scene number 14. If we open this up, you see this looks a little bit more complicated because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 footage placeholders in here. And you also see that in some of these compositions, I added a marker on the text layer that says edit title behind this marker. And this just means that before this marker, the text is not fully revealed, not fully animated on. So if you want to edit your title and you take a look and see, I cannot read it, I don't see what's happening, then just make sure that your time indicator is behind this little marker here, because then the text is fully revealed and you can nicely customize it. But everything else is exactly the same. You can come in here to the scene footages and you see you also have this set matte where you then can just drag in your footage below this layer. Then you can again come in here, scale it, position it however you want, and then it is part of your scene. And this works also with videos, as I said. Okay, so let me tell you one more thing. I want to show you one more thing. For example, if you want to change the layout of a scene, then you can come in here and just unhide all the layers by clicking this little icon here. And then you will see all the elements that are used to build this layout. So, for example, if you want to change maybe these splatters in the background here, you can do so. You can come in here and then you can grab really every element that is building the design, move it around, turn it off, turn it on, or exchange it with other elements, with other design elements. So you can really access all of these elements, all of these designs, and change them to your needs. That's what I wanted to show you. And then in the end, of course, you go back to your render composition, and then you can go to composition, add to media encoder, or add to render queue, and export your video. Okay, so this is it with part 1 of this customization tutorial. In part 2 of the customization tutorial, I will go more in depth and I will show you how you can add additional scenes and how you can exchange the order of scenes. So thank you very much for watching and have fun with the template. Goodbye.